So I think I've started every video with so. Maybe sometimes I say something else. But I don't like those videos that are like, they have all these fancy openings to look professional. I'm not trying to do this professionally. I'm just an individual sharing the truth, sharing facts, sharing, reality, just being a regular person talking to whoever is out there. I don't even know my audience yet who's going to wind up watching this stuff. I haven't really shared this link almost anywhere, even with friends yet, so that's why it's not built up too much. But something I was going to say that I think is like so annoying and so dumb to me. Sometimes when people walk by us, they will say, oh, these poor horses, they just stand there all day and look sad. So one thing I have mentioned before is that horses just stand. They will lay down for about 30 minutes for their deep REM sleep, but other than that, horses stand. They walk around, stand. That's what horses do anywhere, whether they're in a pasture, a field, a meadow, a stall, a city with a carriage, where they stand. So that part's kind of silly to me. Never understood that. Yes, they stand all day. They stand all day anywhere. So some of you will sometimes be like, oh, it's like Black Beauty. So in Black Beauty, one of the things that, depending if we're talking about movies or books or whatever you've seen, one of the things they go into is the checkline here. So a checkline, you see this, he's yawning, this chain here. Chain. So that is connected to the bridle where the bit is. That is how you communicate with the horse. And then it goes up. Let me try to back up so you can see it. So it goes up and it connects to the saddle up here. And it's removable. And so in Black Beauty, that check line is very short, which means the horse is going to have their head held up very high and tight. The purpose of a check line is for safety of the horse, generally. You don't want a horse's head to go down too low when you're working with them. They can stumble and they're going to fall. It's just not a good way for them to walk. Now, sometimes people will have a shorter, tighter check line so that the horse keeps their head up for sometimes safety reasons, but also just so it looks nice and happy. So I could make my check line on my horse tight, and there's nothing wrong with it for a short period of time. That's okay. It doesn't mean that someone that has it shorter is abusing the horse or anything like that necessarily. But the reason that I don't make it shorter so that my horse looks happy to you is because it's not as comfortable for him. When a horse is relaxed, when they're comfortable and they're at ease with their surroundings, they lower their head and they often nap. So when you see a head that's like, his head, well, we just came back from a ride, so his head isn't that low yet. He just is awake right now. But it's a little bit lower. So when you have a horse with a lowered head, that means that that's actually a happy horse. Horses don't exactly get happy, but they get relaxed, they get comfortable. That's something we want to see in a horse. So imagine you're just like sitting out in the sun somewhere and taking a nap, and you fall asleep. The sun feels nice, take a little nap. Imagine if someone walked up to you and they were like, you look really sad when you're sleeping, you should wake up. I don't wake my horse up when he is napping because you think he looks sad when he's napping. I could do that all the time. Hey, you can't sleep out here, you can't relax out here, just so that he would look happy to you. But I think that's mean. I won't do that. So when I hear these comments, I just think that that's so ridiculous. Like, I'm not going to wake up my horse and put his head high up in the air and, just so you think it looks nice. When a horse tilts his ears back a little, that's also a sign that they're relaxed, they're comfortable, or listening to, the person behind them. They will often, let me see if he's doing, they will cock a hind leg. Let's try to get that. Can you see his hind leg there is tilted up? So a lot of the time people misread this body language about the horses. They think that that means he's in pain or something, like that his hoof hurts him. That means that the horse doesn't have to be on all four legs ready to take off because he's nervous about something. When you stand waiting for someone, say, waiting in line or something like that, you probably don't stand with all your weight flat on both feet. You're gonna shift your weight from one side to the other. That's all they're doing. They are, comfortable. They are relaxed, just hanging out. So they will lift one leg and then eventually lift the other leg. This is not a sign of cruelty. This is something good to see in a horse. And I'm not going to stop my horse from doing it because you're misreading a horse. The fact that, people think that a lowered head is like how it might be for a dog or a person when they're sad, that's not what it is for a horse. That just means he's good. It means he's sleeping. I even had a woman the other day who made this comment that they're sad. And I really tried to educate her. I wasn't even being mean about it. And she just ran away. And I don't really get how people don't want to hear any information that conflicts with what they already believe. They're so scared their mind might change. Why are you scared? So eventually, when she just refused to believe me that this is actually the body language of a happy horse and I'm trying to explain it, I was just do you sleep with a smile on your face when you're sleeping? What do you want from him? Let him relax, It's just annoying. I don't really get why, people think that I should just make it look all nice to you because you don't know what nice actually looks like. And that can be frustrating to me. My horse here, I've only had him about 2 years. I saw an ad for him. I drove out to Maryland, tried him out, and I bought him. And I brought him here. And I've gotten him accustomed to the city, and he's comfortable here. And, this is his happy face. We bond, and I just, why would you walk by someone and say something like that? Do they do that with dogs and people and stuff? Do you just randomly insult someone? You look sad. I'm going to say that to them next time. Be like, you look sad. What is that? Is that the resting bitch face or something that people say? Do I have to bleep that out? Does YouTube allow this? Is this now not child friendly? I don't know. But whatever. Yeah, that's something that will annoy me because we do things to make things comfortable for our horse. So going back to that thing about the checkline, we do keep our checkline pretty long so that our horses can relax and keep their head pretty low because they are out here for a maximum of 9 hours. Most of the time it's actually less. That 9 hours does include all their resting between rides. It includes the time it takes them coming and going from the stable. So there's an hour or two out of your day every day that, the horses are not just standing, no matter what you're doing here. But usually it's more, they will work. They're by law required to get at least 15 minutes rest per ride, per 2 hours rather, sorry, not per ride. Our rides range from a 20-minute loop to 45-minute loop. We have an hour version. And then they kind of just hang out here. So like I said, we had just finished a ride. We were hanging out in the line now. It was very friendly. And we are in the back of this whole line of horses. I don't know if I can you see that there? Which way do I have to go? This way. Let's see here. Yep. Okay, there you go. There's a whole line of horses there. So he's going to rest for most of that time, most likely. Anyway, I was trying to get back to the check line. So our check line is there, so he doesn't get his head too low when he's working. But we actually mostly use it so that our horses don't eat off the ground. There could be something bad for them there that we don't want them to eat. That's kind of the way that we use it here, not necessarily what it was designed for. And it's also dangerous if they get their head all the way down to the ground to eat something, and it could get all caught up, the collar will fall, and could get stuck in the shafts, and it could cause an accident for them. So it's just something to keep them safe, and we keep it on them in a loose, comfortable way. And that, unfortunately, sometimes makes people think that my horse is sad. And he's not sad. There he is there. That Scout I have today. I'm currently working with 2 horses. The other one I've worked with for about 8 years now. This is my newer one. He turned 9 this year. I bought him when he was 7. We are allowed to work the horses anywhere from age 5 to 26. They do often retire much earlier because it's always going to vary, just like it varies with people. And that's just some stuff I can tell you about our horses. And like, please stop thinking they are sad. They're not sad.